everyone, and welcome to Tech Talk Friday, the show where we explore the fascinating world of education, career, and technology and bring you insights and stories from experts across various industries. I'm your host, Princey, and today in this special episode, we have Shubham Purandare sir, the founder and CEO of Studium Tech, the edtech company focused on helping educational institutions to achieve and maintain accreditations. So there is a lot of things that goes behind the money, fame, and everything, right?
Yes.
So, sir, there are so many startups starting each day. So, how do you stand out of these?
Okay. Interesting question. So, look, the difference between a startup and a traditional MNC is that a startup is an entity who is capable, courageous enough to change its business model every single day. The essence of any success of any startup is its pivots, it's evolving in nature, right? So, just on the way to this today, I was hearing to a podcast from Nikhil Kamath, and they were discussing around edtech, and over there, Gaurav, who has founded an academy, he was mentioning that in 2019 an academy became an overnight success for everybody, but an academy was actually founded in 2013-14. And he mentioned that every single day for the last 5 years, during the 5 years journey, they were evolving, pivoting every single day. And this is the crux of it. This is the essence of it. So we did not start as an AI startup. We started as a typical startup who is a parallel to an ERP, and where people have to log in all the data. And so we were initially dependent upon faculties and everybody giving us the data. Then we realized that a lot of data is actually available on the internet. Then why are we asking the faculties again and again? Then we tweaked our business model, saying that the research, we won't take it from the faculties. We'll directly take it from Google Scholar, from ORCID, from Scopus, Web of Science, a lot of other entities. The alumni data, what are they doing right now? We were first asking the faculties and alumni heads. They barely knew what alumni are doing, because it's practically very hard to keep a track of every single alumni for the last 10 years, right? Then we have created a lot of bots that go on LinkedIn, that scrape data, do a lot of other innovation. So the crux and what is the essence? Essence is problem solving. Essence is not technology. Essence is not anything other than problem solving. You should know that what do you want to build, and what is that one part that you don't want to negotiate on. For us, it was data gathering. And by hook or crook, we want this data. If the faculties will give it, best. If they don't have it, let's fetch it from somewhere else. Now the comparative part, we fetch it directly from NIRF, we fetch it from a lot of other bodies. So this is the crux of it. Keep evolving every single day until you find that right business model. And don't take too long to take a decision to pivot. If you feel that this is the right thing to tweak, just do it. So that is what my understanding of a successful startup is all about.
So as you said, you use AI in your startup. So what would be the difference is if you would have not be using AI?
Okay.
With AI and without AI.
Great. So first of all, no company exists because they use AI. AI is a tool to solve a problem, right? So for me, nothing will change much apart from my costs, apart from the efficiency, apart from the productivity, right? And all the things that are repetitive in nature can be automated by AI. There is only one thing on this planet that AI cannot replace. That is power of strategic thinking. AI can do everything for you if you tell the AI what to do. But the brain, the entity who is capable of telling what to do, is the one which cannot be replaced by AI. Hence, we all should understand that there is a lot of conflict and debate going around in the industry, saying that AI is taking over jobs, AI is taking over a lot of things. AI is only taking over the jobs of those human beings who are actually capable of doing something much more. AI is not taking away your job. AI is challenging you to do something better in your life. So whenever there is a crash, whenever there is something that it is disruptive, we should look at it as an opportunity. So for our company, we have taken a value first approach. So I always tell my team that we are not a tech first company. Tech first companies like Zoom or Google Meet or these companies where the tech is the only thing that the people interact with. These are tech first companies. We are a value first company. We don't care if the value is generated by our software, by our team, by our AI, nothing. For the institution, now just an example. You are an institute and I give you 2 reports. Both comparative reports, both very exhaustive. You're impressed by the reports. But one report I tell that, there is an AI engineer who did this report in just 2 seconds. And the second report, my team has taken 2 weeks to do it. Pay me 1 lakh more for the tech that we use for this. Will you pay? We'll see why.
No.
Finally, the output matters to me.
I'll say that whoever is done, it doesn't matter. I'll
doesn't
just focus
matter.
on the output.
Right?
Yes.
So you'll say the output matters, the final destination matters. I don't care what you did at the back end.
Yes.
These things are called as value first. Right? So
It's
we need to know.
It's like whichever road you take, reach the destination.
Reach the destination. Now, why will I use AI? Because I cannot afford spending 20 resources on one particular report generation, right?
Yes.
Hence AI.
Okay.
AI cannot be the starting point. You will find AI during the course of your action.
Yes.
You need to embrace it up to the mark where you find it relevant for your use case. That's how I look at AI.
Okay. So it is just an helping tool.
Exactly.
Okay. Sir, what are the future technologies or any new upcoming technologies in your company that you look to reaching apart from accreditations?
So again, accreditation is not a technology. It's a problem to be solved.
Yes.
So I will stick with again, accreditations is one part of it. My vision is to help everyone understand the quality perspective, quality metrics, right? Making institutions more data driven, making them more quantifiable, making them more comparative in terms of data. This is what we work in. Accreditations might go away in the next 10 years. I don't care, right? Tomorrow something else will come over there. So again, accreditations don't matter. If I want, when I win the game, I will win the game when one of my clients says that now we don't care which accreditation we go to. We have a very robust quality process. At every point of time, we do these 5 things regardless of we go to NAC or no. And NAC comes anytime we are able to generate a report and we are going towards NAC. We don't work for NAC, we work for quality. If my customer says this to me, I win the game. If after 10 years of my hard work, even if the colleges say that, no, we still fear the NAC accreditations. Even though I've earned a lot of money, I've lost the game. Again, if you see, this is value first. This is not technology first.
Yes.
Hence, the long-term vision, long-term technologies is everything that will help me go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, as you mentioned in your previous question, that answer, that you have a team of 30 skilled people, skilled engineers. So how do you choose them or how do you select them for your company? As the field you are working is very critical and specific oriented, like this detail oriented.
Yeah. So, ये चीज बहुत complicated है. So first of all, I am not a seasoned HR recruiter. So I have not been in organizations where I've hired hundreds of people. So I don't have a laid framework anywhere. All I know is what works for me.
Okay.
I have never hired from any top-notch institution. So I won't take names, but if there is X who is giving all great names in the market, I prefer to stay away from it. There are 3 things that are non-negotiable for me. One is hunger, one is right attitude, and third is honesty. These are the 3 things that are non-negotiable at any point of time. Okay, so my in the typical hirings that we go through are the first 2 rounds are around technical, which are domain they go through. I take 2 culture fit interviews. So we don't call it as HR interviews. It's a very MNC term. We call it culture fit. I only want to see that does this candidate fit into my culture. If he's very, very gelled into my culture, I will teach him how to code. I will teach him how to do AI. I cannot teach him how to think. I cannot teach him how to behave. I cannot embed hunger into his actions. These are the only 3 things that I cannot. I can teach him technology. I can give him resources. I can give him time. These are all external parts. So my go-to question when I ask and hire in my culture fit is that I ask my candidates regarding their failure stories. So whenever people come for interviews, they are sitting like this, and you ask me, I tell you. I have 5 success stories. I was this, I was that, I was a culture head over here. The resumes are filled with useless things. This is not what I want to hear. So I often ask them that, okay, what is that situation? What is that situation where you failed miserably? On your face, you failed. What did you do?
How
The
did-
people who say that I have never failed, they're out. It can't happen that you haven't failed. You're at 25 right now, for example, 23, 25. You cannot say that you haven't failed. This means that you don't have a larger perspective towards yourself. You're not honest enough to accept that this was my failure. And the people who cannot accept their failures cannot embrace success. Okay. If you want to embrace success, you want to accept your failures. You need to treat your failures as you should keep your failures here on your right on your shoulders. I failed 105 times. Okay. If you are not proud enough about your failures, you can't succeed. This is not just a rule of anything. Hence, that is my first very important thing. This is a lot of related to your personality. If you said, okay, sir, I failed at this level, but I learned this, I came out of this. I used my failure as a fuel to my success engine. These are the people who end up doing a lot better in their lives. And this is one non-negotiable part that I keep looking into people. Also, I have hired a lot of people who don't have professional degrees. One of my very bright software engineer was a BCom graduate.
Oh.
Yeah, he had done his BCom and yet he was doing a lot in Mondstadt. I was impressed by it. I was like, he's doing something. He's very hungry about it. So these are certain things. So I won't tell you that I hire only 90% and plus CGPA. Nothing of that sort works. So these 3 things are the ones that I look for.
Okay. So you look for the people who embrace their failures and learn from it.
Correct. And who are quick learners, who are hungry and who have the right. This is a success combination.
Huh. Okay, sir. So after all of this, it seems like a lot of it comes from your experience at MNC.
Mhm.
So can you share about that?
It is the other way around. I have written a checklist that if I ever start a company, what are those things that I won't do at all, that I won't bring into my company.
Okay.
So I've learned a lot of things at Barclays. I've seen a lot of things. I mean, I don't want to comment on any specific companies, just MNCs. I definitely know what I don't want to do.
Okay.
It is very hard to say that what you want to do in life. It is okay if you at least know what not to do in your
What
life.
not?
Right. So in Barclays, I've seen a lot of things that are not very healthy. I want a very healthy culture, very nice culture. One of the greatest things I learned at Barclays is a process. None of us knows that who founded Barclays. It is a 400-year-old brand now. It is still existing with all its glory. It is growing day by day just because of its process. Just because how have they engineered every person working with each other. So these are the things which I've learned a lot. That how to set a process, how to abide to it, how to set your goals. These are all the things that I've learned. I've been learning since a long time, and I'll tell you that I've learned most of my things with a peer networking. So I keep talking to a lot of successful and failed entrepreneurs, and they keep telling a lot about their stories, a lot about their success, and and they're very humble about it, very normal about it. I barely talk to people who keep talking a lot about themselves, who keep that I'm this and that, मैंने ऐसा किया है, मैंने वैसा किया है. So मुझे हमेशा ऐसा लगता है कि अगर आपने बहुत कुछ किया है तो आपको बताने की जरूरत नहीं. लोगों को पता है.
दिख क्या?
दिख के आता है, आपके एक्शन से दिख के आता है, आपके ऑरा से दिख के आता है. जिसको बताना पड़ता है कि मैं ऐसा हूं, there is something fishy.
That is not yet
Hence,
enough.
I also try to not brag about a lot of things, because today I have this, today I have X good things and Y bad things. Tomorrow everything can just go south. and none of this is going to stay forever, right? So these are my learnings till now.
ओके सर, लाइफ में हम बहुत लोगों से बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं, तो आप किसको लुक आफ्टर करते हो कि आई वांट टू लर्न बी लाइक देम और
Okay. ऐसे तो बहुत लोग हैं. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि there is no one person that I look up to for all the skills. I look up to a lot of people for something in them. Okay, because there is no one person on the planet who is having everything. So for example, the latest example is Ratan Tata ji, who has who has taken the Indian business ecosystem to a next level. And there are a lot of points that I've always look up to when it comes to Ratan Tata, and this failure point when he proceeded for a new CEO for Tata Motors, he had chosen somebody जिन्होंने कभी एक बड़ी कंपनी खड़ी नहीं की. ऐसे बहुत लोग आए थे जिन्होंने जो सक्सेस स्टोरीज उनके यहाँ पे बहुत से भरे हुए, पर उन्होंने ऐसा एक कैंडिडेट को चुना जो ऐसे थे जिन्होंने कभी बड़ी कंपनी बिल्ड नहीं की. और जब रतन टाटा जी को पूछा गया कि आपने ऐसा क्यों किया, आपके पास तो इतने बेहतर ऑप्शन थे, आपने रिस्क क्यों ली, तो उन्होंने ऐसा बोला था कि जो बाकी सारे लोग हैं ना वो भी टाटा मोटर्स को बड़ा करेंगे, पर उनके लिए इट विल बी येट अनदर सक्सेस स्टोरी. ये जो है इसने कभी सक्सेस को टेस्ट ही नहीं किया. ही इज हंग्री. सो देयर आर हाई चांसेस दैट ये जितना आगे लेके जाएंगे वो कई गुना ज्यादा होगा. एंड इट इज डू और डाई सिचुएशन फॉर हिम. एंड आई वांट टू बेट ऑन पीपल हु कैन एम्ब्रेस देयर फेलियर्स. तो ये रतन टाटा जी से बहुत बड़ी सीख है. then there is another one person that who is not talked about in the industry, who is again from Tata Group. उनका नाम है आपने सुमो कार सुना होगा. टाटा की सुमो करके एक बहुत खेली. आपको पता है वो नाम कैसे आया सुमो? सो इट इज अ पर्सन्स नेम, सुमंत मुड़गावकर. सुमो. या सो इट इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी विच इंस्पायर्स मी लॉट. अगेन टाटा मोटर्स. सो सुमंत मुड़गावकर who was heading every operations there. लंच ब्रेक होता था उनका. सुमो तब नहीं थी. तब उनका टाटा मोटर्स का ज्यादा काम ट्रक्स में था, ट्रक्स एंड बिग कैरियर इंजन्स. ठीक है. तो वो ना लंच ब्रेक के दौरान सारे लोग अपने अपने लंच के लिए जाते थे कैंटीन में. सुमन मुड़गावकर यूज्ड टू डिसअपियर. ओके, सडनली यूज्ड टू डिसअपियर एंड डायरेक्टली यूज्ड टू कम आफ्टर द लंच ब्रेक. एंड किसी को समझता नहीं था कि हो क्या रहा है. कई लोगों को ऐसा भी लगने लगा कि शायद कुछ फिशी एक्टिविटी चल रही है, लंच ब्रेक में गायब हो जाते हैं और दिखते नहीं वापस. देन समबडी थॉट कि चलो इनको ट्रैक करते. तो जैसे एक दिन लंच ब्रेक हुआ, वो निकल पड़े, तो उनके पीछे कुछ और लोग टाटा मोटर से निकल पड़े. एंड टू देयर सरप्राइज वो एक हाईवे पे जाते थे और जो ड्राइवर्स थे उनके साथ बैठ के घर का लाया हुआ टिफिन खाते थे ड्राइवर्स के साथ. ठीक है. एंड फिर देर वेरी सरप्राइज कि ऐसे क्यों हो रहा है, किसी को समझा नहीं. फिर एक दिन वो आने के बाद किन लोगों ने उनको पूछा कि आप ऐसे क्यों जाते हो, हमने देखा तो आप ड्राइवर के साथ खाते हो, लंच करते हो. तो ही सेड कि हमारे कस्टमर कौन है? हमारे कस्टमर ट्रक ड्राइवर्स. ट्रक हम बेच रहे हैं तो ट्रक ड्राइवर्स आर द पीपल हु आर ड्राइविंग आवर कार्स. तो हमको यूजर फीडबैक कौन देगा? ट्रक ड्राइवर्स देंगे ना. तो अगर आप उन्हें इस एसी ऑफिस में बुलाओगे और पूछोगे कैसा लग रहा है हमारा ट्रक, तो अच्छा ही बोलेंगे. बट वो आपस में जो बोलेंगे ना जब लंच कर देते हैं, दैट इज अ रियल फीडबैक दैट वी गेट फ्रॉम द कस्टमर. इसलिए आई गो एवरीवेयर एवरी टाइम, सिट बिटवीन देम. नाउ दे आर माय फ्रेंड्स. दे कीप टेलिंग मी कि सर आपके जो इंजन है ये बहुत ही ये होता है वो होता है. सो दिस इज हाउ आई वांट टू ग्रो टाटा इंडस्ट्रीज. एंड जब रतन टाटा जी को पता चला कि ऐसा इतना डेडिकेशन से कोई कर रहा है, तब द नेक्स्ट कार दैट वी वर लॉन्चिंग, उनका नाम दिया सुमंत मुड़गावकर सुमो. So these are the people who take entrepreneurship to the next level. Without, इसमें कोई फेम नहीं है, इसमें कोई ये नहीं है. So several other people are there. I read Sudha Murthy a lot. So big fan of her. So she has that simplicity in her. Recently, if you have seen, she came on this your comedy nights with Kapil. So she and Narayan Murthy, Sudha Murthy, and Dupinder Goyal and Jia. So two diversely opposite couples were there. That time also, now Kapil Sharma show is a very classy, luxurious show. Look at her appearance. She's so simple.
Yes.
She's so calm. So there are a lot of things. If you read Sudha Murthy ma'am's books, you'll understand the type of person she is. So there are a lot of elements that I keep picking up and look up to for a lot of other qualities. And we're fortunate enough to have so many great people in India. Hence, we should not go out of India.
So, as you learn from various peoples across various industries, sir, you are an engineer and you have worked at Barclays as a business analyst. So, what these two positions have taught you? Because now you are the CEO. So, what helpings does that help you in being a CEO and being running the company?
So to be very honest, I can't draw a correlation because what I used to do at Barclays is very different than what I do right now. It's a journey. So me as a business analyst when I was 23, 24, and probably 25. That was a era where I did not know anything about corporates, anything about startups. That was my first exposure towards big buildings or lavish infrastructure and everything. And then I realized that these lavish buildings only look lavish when you are looking up to them from a distance. Once you go inside those buildings, you suddenly lose the lavishness of those buildings. So I can't definitely draw a correlation, but the hunger has increased. I have seen a lot of great people during my engineering, during my Barclays, and those people are still in contact. We keep talking a lot about a lot of things, and so there are if I look back, there are a lot of small dots that suddenly start getting connected, and I think वो ज़्यादा important है कि उस टाइम पे आपको जो सही लगे वो करते रहो. And there are a lot of elements where in my 5 years of entrepreneurship, तब जो फर्स्ट दिन में मैं जो कर रहा था तब तो कोई आउटपुट नहीं आ रहा था, करता रहा. बट नाउ थिंग्स आर गेटिंग कनेक्टेड. एंड तब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उस दिन अगर वो इनको नहीं मिला होता तो शायद आज ये नहीं होता. तब तो आउटपुट नहीं मिला, बट उसका आउटपुट बहुत लेट मिलता है. सो इसका एक बुक है बाय द ऑथर ऑफ कॉल्ड रश्मि बंसल. द बुक्स नेम इज कनेक्ट द डॉट्स. She has talked about a lot of entrepreneurs who got delayed success, who did not have formal education. So, the deeper I am going in the education industry, I now definitely don't want to do an MBA. I'm just an engineer. And earlier I wanted to do an MBA, but now I've realized that if you have hunger, if you have a need of learning something, you'll learn it. By hook or crook, you'll learn it. Right? So, these are the correlations.
Okay. So, sir, you are in this space, but when you think of expanding your company to a larger level, what is the another industry you look up to?
No.
Correctly. Only this?
अगर मैं कोई नई इंडस्ट्री जाऊंगा तो दैट इज अ फेलियर दैट इज.
Along with this,
जाना ही नहीं है.
Okay.
10 साल का गेम इसी पे खेलना है.
expand this at the
Yes.
maximum.
वर्टिकल डीप जाना है
Okay.
ज्यादा से ज्यादा. जितना आप छोटा नीश पकड़ोगे, आप अगर ऐसे सोचोगे ना मुझे ना ये सारा करना है, तो आप कभी नहीं कर पाओगे. अगर आपने बोला ना मुझे ना ये करना है, अभी फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई टेल यू, इंडिया हैज लॉट ऑफ कॉलेजेस, राइट? तो देयर इज अ टर्म कॉल्ड एज टोटल एड्रेसेबल मार्केट साइज इन इन्वेस्टमेंट थीसिस. Entrepreneurs try to maximize it. This is a $5 billion market. This is a $10 billion market. Instead of that, even though there are engineering, art, science, lot of colleges, we are focused on management colleges. We are only saying that we'll only sell this product for the first 3 years to management colleges. That to autonomous management colleges, B schools, people who want to grow, people who are aspiring. Now the market size suddenly comes to only 2,000 colleges. Now 2,000 colleges is a very small market.
Yes.
But if I keep a 1 lakh college ka target in front of you, I get distracted. Where to go, what to do. So the target is very simple. Target is B schools, Pune, Mumbai, Delhi. That's all. The more you start focusing on certain things, the more chances increase of you becoming successful.
Okay.
So, and this is what I've learned throughout my journey. That earlier I used to do 10 other products. I used to do, अगर एजुकेशन में एक्रेडिटेशन कर रहे हो तो चलो अटेंडेंस भी करते हैं, तो चलो प्लेसमेंट भी उनको दे देंगे, चलो ये देंगे. Tell me one thing. For example, you're suffering from a sudden heart pain.
Okay.
You have 2 doors in front of you. One door, it is written that a general physician He has 10 degrees in front of him.
Okay.
Okay. He's a gold medalist. He's great. People talk good about him. But title is general physician. And then heart, kidney, lung, diabetes, everything. Second door, you have a heart specialist. And he also has good reputation. Where will you go?
Heart specialist.
Why? The first person has lot of more degrees, lot of more credibility.
But currently I need this and that will solve my problem.
Correct.
Yes.
So, if when you're thinking about heart, without a second thought, you'll go to heart specialist because this is a relief कि उनको वही आता है,
Yes.
वो वही करते हैं.
Yes.
एक जनरल वाला बंदा सब कुछ करता है.
Okay.
Similar thing applies to businesses. जो बंदा बोलता है कि मैं ये भी करूंगा वो भी करूंगा, वो किराना का दुकान बन जाता है. किराना स्टोर्स cannot scale, right? तो अगर आपको कुछ भी फोकस चाहिए तो हमेशा आप स्पेशलिस्ट के पास जाओ. Hence, when people think about quality in the college, they should think about us. बाकी कुछ नहीं. भले वो मार्केट रेट छोटा हो बट उसमें से मुझे 80% चाहिए. That will be a bigger pie than saying कि मुझे 1% चाहिए सबसे. ठीक है. This is how I think startup should be built, at least for some. There is a book called as Lean Startup by a foreign author. It's a very nice book on how to keep your organization very lean, how to keep it very frugal, very non-decorative, non-glamorous, very simple.
Simple.
Then only you can succeed.
Goal oriented.
Goal-oriented, simple, and clear. What do you want?
It's like 10 चीजें एवरेज करने से अच्छा एक चीजें बेस्ट करो.
Correct.
एक चीज बेस्ट करो.
Correct.
सर नाउ कैन यू इफ यू वर टू अगर आप ये जर्नी पूरी आपकी कंपनी फ्रॉम स्क्रैच स्टार्ट करते हो अभी वापस तो आप खुद को क्या टिप्स देते हैं?
This is a different perspective. So, okay, I'll answer it in different way. आज मुझे कुछ चीजें the version of me -5 years उसको जितनी चीजें पता नहीं थी about scaling, about lot of things, उसमें से कुछ चीजें मुझे पता है आज. But cut to, I go there. For example, the thing that I told you right now, that pinpoint focus, right? ये मैं आज जाके डायरेक्टली उसको अगर बताऊंगा वो सुनेगा नहीं. आज मुझे वो पता है. आई कैन टेल यू वेरी कॉन्फिडेंटली बिकॉज आई हैव गॉन थ्रू द प्रोसेस. मुझे पता है कि अगर वो नहीं किया तो फोकस नहीं होता है. ठीक है. वो नहीं किया तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. इसलिए आई एम कॉन्फिडेंट ऑन माई स्टेटमेंट. ठीक है. बट मैं अगर आज उसको जाके बताऊंगा कि अच्छा आई हैव लर्न दिस, आपने डायरेक्टली ये करो, तो शायद वो वाला फाउंडर वो फिर भी नहीं करेगा. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि द मिस्टेक्स आर पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ योर लाइफ. डोंट ट्राई टू अवॉइड मिस्टेक्स. आज भी मुझे कई ऐसे लोग जो मेरे से बेहतर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स है जाके बोलते हैं कि शुभम ये चीज मत करो, बट मुझे वो समझते नहीं ऐसा क्यों नहीं करना है. वो मुझे बताते हैं कि आई एम सेविंग योर 3 years ऑफ स्ट्रगल, ये करो, बट हमें वो कन्विक्शन नहीं आता है कि हमने वो फील नहीं किया होता है. राइट. सो शायद मैं कुछ नहीं बता पाऊंगा उसको बिकॉज इट्स अ प्रोसेस एंड ही विल लर्न बाय हिज ओन वे. द ओनली थिंग दैट आई कीप टेलिंग हिम अगेन एंड अगेन इज जस्ट डोंट क्विट. छोड़ो मत, बिकॉज entrepreneurship is very lonely. It becomes very lonely. It becomes very frustrating at times. Just don't give up. Keep doing. एक दिन हो जाए. करते रहो.
Okay. Consistency is the key.
Yes, करते
As
रहो.
it is. Sir, finally, what message would you like to give upcoming engineers and upcoming our audience?
वैसे तो मैं इतना बड़ा फाउंडर हूँ नहीं कि मैं किसी को एडवाइस दूँ. वो भी सोचेंगे कि इसका क्यों सुनूँ मैं. बट एक ही है कि यू नो आई स्टार्टेड वेरी अर्ली इन माई करियर. सो दो नॉट एडवाइस, एज अ टिप, एज अ एल्डर ब्रदर प्रोबेबली, इज दैट स्टार्ट एज अर्ली एज पॉसिबल. ऐसा मत सोचो कि ना पहले 2 साल 4 साल जॉब करूंगा, फिर ये करूंगा, फिर ऐसा होगा, फिर एक कार लूंगा सेफर साइड, बाद में कुछ नहीं ले पाया तो फिर मैं स्टार्टअप करूंगा. ऐसा मत सोचो. जितना जल्दी हो पाए उतना शुरू करो. ठीक है. क्योंकि आपके पास फेलियर का एपिटाइट रहता है. ठीक है. वो अर्ली स्टेज में बहुत ज्यादा रहता है. जैसे जैसे आप उम्र बढ़ते जाती है तो आपका फेलियर का एपिटाइट कम होते जाता है. तो स्टार्ट फास्ट. ठीक है. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि मुझे 10 चीजें ट्राई करनी है, ओके, मैं फिगर आउट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, लोग उसमें प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन करते रहते हैं. 10 में से अब मैं चूज करूंगा, ये करूंगा, वो करूंगा, उसमें 10 साल चले जाते हैं. सब 10 के 10 चीजें ट्राई करके जस्ट ट्राई एंड फाइंड आउट की एंड व्हाट क्वेश्चंस विल यू आस्क योरसेल्फ की सक्सेस तो ऐसे किसी में नहीं मिलेगी कि आप एक दिन में $1 बिलियन तो नहीं कमाओगे. कौन सा काम करने में आपको सबसे ज्यादा मजा आ रहा था, आपको मजा आ रहा था, मतलब यार ये मुझे वापस करना है, ये फीलिंग आपको कब आई, वो काम है जो आपको बार बार करना चाहिए. किसमें आपको ज्यादा पैसे मिले, ये अगर आप सोचोगे वो टेम्पररी बन जाएगा. आपको शायद वो उतना पैसा अगले 10 साल के लिए ना मिले, तो आपको मोटिवेशन फिर क्या रहेगा, राइट. तो स्टीव जॉब्स का एक लाइफ चेंजिंग स्पीच है, he delivered at Harvard some years back. So definitely, if you attach that link with this podcast, it will be helpful. He has told 3 stories about his life, and in one incident he says that every day when I wake up, I look in the mirror and I ask myself that if today were the last day of my life, whatever I'm going to do today, is that the thing that I should be doing? And if the answer is no, consistently for long time, then I know that I need to change.
Very interesting.
This is what he says, stop living in dogma. Dogma means living somebody else's life. Somebody else telling you how to live, somebody else telling you this is good, hence you start doing it. Stop doing it. So that was kind of very pivotal. That was very, this thing. He start early. Ask yourself what you like the most. Ask yourself कि अगर यही चीज मुझे पूरे जिंदगी करनी है तो क्या मैं कर पाऊंगा. एंड इफ द आंसर इज यस, प्लीज डू इट फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम. इफ यू आर फीलिंग कि यार मजा नहीं आ रहा है, मैं वही चीज नहीं करना चाहता हूँ, क्विट. बी वेरी फास्ट इन योर डिसीजंस एंड जस्ट डोंट, इफ यू आर लाइकिंग इट, यू आर नॉट गेटिंग सक्सेस, जस्ट स्टिक टू इट. I guess that's all I can tell anybody.
So it is like learn fast, fail fast, and start all over again fast.
Correct. And घबराओ मत.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for this valuable time and valuable lessons for our life. It will inspire our audience to encourage them to being in startup, and maybe they will get so many other helpful tips from this podcast.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. Thank you.